and welcome to Trans-Matic Classics. Stories from when I was a kid at my father's shop, Trans-Matic. I'm going to tell you a story about what happened to my dad, and which I believe it had to have been 1980. I was a freshman. We were living in Calumet City, and our family always went snow skiing. And it was probably some of the best times for us. And my dad taught all of us kids and my mom how to snow ski. So we would go on trips up to Michigan. And actually, this bar that I'm in is upstairs in my shop, and it somewhat replicates the feel of a Michigan snow lodge bar, snow ski bar. It would have been really cool for the old man to see this, but he passed before I got the keys to the shop, and I did this years afterwards. But to get to the story, my father loved skiing, and he would always go to some of the, around here, 8 hours to Michigan, to the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, was probably some of the best ski runs. And one of the longest runs, I remember it being about a mile long, which I skied. Once in a while, Dad would take a trip to go to Colorado for the big mountains. And then this one year, he flew to Austria. And he went skiing out there. I'm not sure who he went with, if he went by himself or he found somebody, but I believe he closed the shop, if I remember correctly. At any rate, Dad went over to Austria to go skiing, and this had a great time and everything. And this story begins on his way back. The ski trip was up, time to head back home. Everybody loads in a plane to come back to the United States. Dad's got a window seat. And he notices that the engine out the window is on fire. According to him, it was in a blaze. So he told one of the stewardess, and like, hey, the airplane motor's on fire. She goes, oh, don't worry about that. Sometimes you'll get some flames out the back. And he said, no, it's on fire. And he made her look out the window. And then she immediately went up to the front of the plane and told whoever. Well, this was shortly after takeoff, so they had to turn the plane around and make an emergency landing. And the plane landed safe. And have you ever seen some of those real big jumbo jets? When there's an emergency landing, instead of bringing the truck with the stairs that goes up to the plane, they have emergency chutes that are big slides that come out of the plane. They fill up with air, they pop out, and you're supposed to jump on it, land on your butt, and slide down the slide. So my father helped everybody get off the plane. He did not jump first. He made sure everybody got to the door. I'm sure he was there with other people. But from what he told me, he was one of the last person to jump on the slide to get off. And I believe there was 2 slides, one for the front door, one for the back door. So I don't remember which one he was at. So when it was my dad's turn to jump and get on the slide and the airbag slide and slide down, something happened down at the bottom, and he said it was a big bang on the slide, and the slide blew underneath the airplane while my dad was in mid-air jumping on it. Well, the old man landed flat on his ass, and he was messed up. I believe he broke his back. I'm not exactly sure, but they had to keep him in Austria for, I think, at least a week or so So he spent a week there skiing. Now he spent a week there up in the hospital. Then they had to fly him back on a private jet, a medical jet. They got him to Chicago. I think he stayed in Chicago for a couple days, and then they finally brought him home. And I remember when he came home, they had these braces all around on his front, his back, and his neck and everything. And that poor guy was in pain. In the meantime, there was no one running Dad's shop. The shop was closed for quite some time. And I remember, I was a freshman when this happened, so I was only working after work. So it's not like I was working there full time. But it really, also, it was 1980. And I don't know if it was before or during. It was definitely, you know, the Jimmy Carter years where the country was really hurting at that time financially. Inflation was high, gas was high. Kind of sounds like today, So he might have been not financially set why he went on a trip to Austria. I don't know, but it did hurt us for a good year or so. And then there was a settlement, not a lawsuit, but a settlement. A lawsuit turned into a settlement for my father from the airplane manufacturer, the airline, and from what Dad tells me, that the scumbag lawyer got 80% of it. So he didn't get squat. So that was one of the stories that I remember, and it was a hard year, which it always kind of was, you know, for him, but he did get on his skis again, and he did go skiing, and he took us, Dad snow skied, I think all the way up till he was 65 years old, 65 or 66. And then after that, his little body just couldn't take it no more. So pretty cool story. I thought I'd just like to share that with you. All right, this story happened at my dad's shop, and it's a little bit more humorous. And I think I was younger then. I think I was in 7th or 8th grade. I want to say maybe I graduated grade school, and I was going into high school. It was that summer of 79, I think. Well, my cousin worked there, and his name is John Cope. So my cousin John Cope was working there, and they had 2 in-ground hoists in Dad's shop. It was an old Texaco gas station. It was really cool. It's still there. I plan on going there one day with the camera. And I met the guy that owns it now. He's a super nice guy, and he's going to let me in, and I'm going to go back there one day and bring the power wagon. But back to the story. This was killer. We're working on the in-ground hoist, and it was a single cylinder that came up with a platform that would lift the car, and it had a leak, and my dad bought a seal. The thing was huge. It was about that big and about 2 inches around. So we took off the base and set it off to the side, and I remember we were filling it, and there's a port where you unscrew just a little 3-inch cap, and my cousin's pouring it, and I'm standing over there by the up and down lever. And he goes, "Johnny, whatever you do, do not hit up." And I said, "Hit up?" He was looking down in the hole. And I hit that fucking thing up. The fucking oil shot out of there. Fucking doused him in the face. It was all over the roof of the ceiling of Dad's shop. Oh my God. I'll never forget that. Oh man. Just another story from Trans-Matic.